All right, guys, welcome to another training. We do these every Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So you're welcome to join us. You'll get an invite. We record these as well. If you guys want to watch the recording later for any reason, you can't make the meeting, but you're still interested in learning more about what we're doing to get more business in our pipeline, how we help our own agents get more results, you're welcome to attend. Every Thursday at 12 p.m. we do these, and we welcome as many agents as we can. Our goal is to get you going with more business. Today, we're going to talk about how to get more business from using your phone, right? How to make calls that are structured enough that you're always going to get results from every call you make. This involves using scripts, using questions, understanding that asking the right question is going to lead to the right either conversation or lead to the right follow-up so you don't get ghosted. Okay. So we're going to get going. Just to double check, I know my screen is showing right now. Just kind of want to double check you guys can see it. Can you guys type a 1 in the comments? Just a quick 1 if you guys can see my screen so we can get this going. 1, good. Hi, Yvette, how's it going? Good. All right, so I'm gonna assume everybody can
Great.
see it now. If you guys have any issues, any questions, please feel free to interrupt me. I like to make these, if we can start a conversation on some of these topics, great. What's working for you? What you think is gonna work? Yeah, I'd be very interested to learn what's working, depending on the type of lead you get, right? And that's kind of what we're gonna talk about right now. What sort of approach do you have when you're talking to brand new leads? For example, if you're getting leads from Facebook advertising, depending on the type of ad that you're putting out there, most of the time you'll do maybe a list of homes, right? So what is the first question that pops up in the call? How do you introduce yourself so that you don't lose attention? One of the things that we do, for example, is when you get on the phone, you talk to them, and the idea is that you ask, you look for an excuse to jump on the phone and talk to them, which is in this case, hey, we sent you a list of homes. I'm interested in learning more about what you're going to do next. What do you like in the list of homes that we sent you? Is there anything that you found interesting? If you're promoting a listing, for example, you promote listings on Facebook, Instagram, social media platforms. How do you talk to those leads so that they don't ghost you? By mentioning the actual offer that you gave them to begin with, you're going to really turn those leads into actual conversations because they're going to remember why they clicked on those ads. They're going to remember why they gave you that information, right? Now, that's completely different if you're talking to expired listings. And within expired listings, you have different groups. You have someone who just expired, probably getting hundreds of calls within the first 24 hours of that expiring. Or maybe if you're targeting an expired listing that expired a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, the conversation is completely different. Also, how do you introduce yourself so that within the first 6 seconds, they don't hang up the phone on you, right? Uh, we're covering very generic topics today, and this is just one of a few training sessions we're going to have over the next few weeks where we're going to be able to really, dig deep into scripts that are working right now with either Facebook leads, expireds, FISBOs, or things that we do all the time. For example, right? We always look for non-owner occupied homes because those are giving us listings right now, whether cash deals for investments or maybe it's giving us deals for actual listings because most people want to sell and they always want to get the most money for their properties. So depending on which lead you're talking about, your introduction has to be on point. If you don't have a structured way of talking to leads, if you don't have a script right before you pick up that phone and call, most of the time those calls are gonna, if you just wing it, they're gonna fail, right? I'm not saying all the time because I know a lot of you guys who are watching this training or some of you who are here, you have a lot of success just by being you and talking the way you do. But most of the time, what I've seen work with a lot of different agents, and I've seen agents who are killing it right now with expireds and FISBOs, are basically following a training sales process. a script to the T. And having the same conversation over and over again, asking the right question right at the very within the first 6 seconds, it's what's leading to that conversation so that they actually are open to learning more about. Can you guys not see my screen, Diane? Oh man, I'm not sharing my screen and nobody said anything about this. That's funny. All right, guys, can you actually see my screen right now? Can you please type a 1 in there? All right. I mean, all right. So again, right, depending on the type of lead you talk to, you want to have a different intro. Go ahead and post in the comments if you have if you guys follow any scripts yourself. Who here is calling expired listings? Again, just type a 1 if you're calling expireds. Circle prospecting, expired, FISBOs, anybody? We want to bring someone who does this every single day and do live role playing with you guys and probably some live calls as well of what's working right now. One of the things that works really well with expireds is just sometimes, there's a couple introductions that kind of work to the point, right? When you pick up the phone and just ask, is this Roberto, right? Is this Diane? Yes, no. I was just calling about the property at 123 Main Street, right? Is it still for sale? I've seen a lot of people say, hey, I just noticed your house expired, right? Right when the house expires. That's really painful for a lot of sellers because they haven't sold the home. We don't really know why. Maybe the agent didn't perform, or maybe they wanted more and the agent still took the listing. We don't really know. So making assumptions right on the spot sometimes could hurt the conversation. All you care about is, did you get any offers for the property? I'm just curious as to why you pulled the property off the market. If the right offer came by, would you accept it? Did you get any offers? Did you get more or less what you were asking for? What is it that you're asking for? Oh, I'm not looking to move anymore. I'm not looking to do this anymore. Okay, great. That's understandable. Let me ask you one thing, right? If you were looking to move, or if you had sold your home, where would you have moved to? Right? Continuing the conversation and asking more questions is going to continue to get you on the phone. And the longer you last on that call, the more rapport you build. And of course, the more time you have to build that relationship to eventually, hopefully, book that listing appointment. So everything starts with the right introduction. We do have a few scripts we'll probably send you guys that you guys can kind of play with and try. And again, I believe that if we get someone here, we're going to post that. We're going to send you an invite. We're probably going to do a actual training on expireds and FISBOs because I know we need more listings, right? We need more listings. So if you can do this weekly and kind of have some sort of accountability with the team, we can really get you going. And within the next 30, 60, 90 days, you can land a few listings just from calling expireds for a few hours a day. All right. So asking the right question at the very beginning is going to promote a lasting conversation. If you're not asking questions in your conversation and you're doing all the talking, you're going to get people to just get bored and they're just going to hang up on you, right? The worst thing that you can do is ask the wrong question as well. So asking questions, the first question, intro to first question, is what's going to get you on the conversation. Again, if you're bringing in leads from Facebook, usually the conversation tends to be a little easier once you get past the, oh, I didn't click on the ad, or I'm not this person, or, I'm not really looking to move, right? Once you get past that and ask the right question, where were you thinking of moving? What areas are you interested in? Providing a lot of value within the first call is what's going to allow you to continue that conversation so that you can really hit the pain points, so that you can get something going, so you understand where to go from there, whether this person is ready to go within the next 30 days or in the next 12 months. value-driven conversations by asking questions is what's going to allow you to build that rapport so that you can really get the ball rolling and you can really get more conversations going. Another great thing to do, and this is a lot of sales training techniques, is being able to connect with the prospect, right? Especially when you're trying to build rapport. For example, I have built relationships over time with people that are interested in selling. One of the niches that we get into when calling, uh, for listings is calling non-owner occupied homes, investors, people that have, more than one property available and they're just trying to get rid of some of these properties. We call and ask, are you interested in selling? Have you thought about selling? And most of the time, it's a numbers game. You're going to get a small subset that are going to say yes. And when you talk to them and understand whether they want to sell or not, it's very important that you need to understand that they may not be ready for the next 30, 60, 90 days, right? Depending on the lead type you talk to, some leads are going to convert faster than others. Calling uh, investor type investors with multiple properties and they're looking to probably offload a couple of these properties, it may take a good 3 to 6 months where you build that relationship. And when you start conversations where you can connect, just to give you a quick example, I called this lady just about 6 months ago, and I still talk to her from time to time because, again, the goal is, hey, is she ready to sell or not? Right. And it's an off-market property. So I know that as long as I build the right relationship, once she's ready to pull the trigger, she's going to work with me. So one of the things that I brought up when I first talked to her was kids. I have kids. So there was something that she said that triggered the conversation about kids, school systems, where she wanted to move to, why she wanted to sell the property that she wanted to sell. This lady in particular has 4 properties in the Ventura County area. And when we called, we asked for one specific property if she was interested in selling. Because of the report that I was able to build, she said she wasn't interested in selling that property, but if she did, she would actually sell another property that she had because it had a little bit more equity. It was already, she already has it as a rental. And if she were to find something in the vicinity that she really likes, she wants to upgrade her home. So she wants to use the proceeds of this home to move up into a bigger home. So that worked out to basically offering not only help her get the property off her hands, but also help her find something that she likes, right? Being there as a buyer's agent to help her find something that she can fit into. And of course, it all came down to starting the conversation about my kids. My kids go to a dual immersion school. She has exactly the same thing. The city that she wants to move to, it's a better school system for her kids. And we were able to connect, right? Another example, another guy I talked to, he told me he lives near um, an engineering company. He works there, and I was able to connect because that's kind of a little bit of the stuff I've done in the past. So again, I was able to connect. Using stories throughout your conversation is going to allow you to build rapport. It's going to allow you to build trust. People open up and then they start talking. Once they start talking, it's very important that you understand that you want to follow this rule, the 80-20 rule, right? Which is basically they talk about 80% of the time. They sell themselves on the product that you're trying to sell, on the services that you're trying to sell. You're the one who's going to help them sell their property. You're going to be the one who's going to help them buy the property. When you're talking to an expired, for example, at the very beginning, they're going to say, no, I'm not interested. But ask, if you were interested or if you had sold your property, change the subject, right? If you had sold the property, where would you have moved to? And they start talking, well, I would have gone to, Florida because this and that. And what's out there? What's out there in Florida? Oh, I have a few buddies that, they like fishing. Oh, great. I like fishing too. I do this. And again, connect with stories, but then ask more questions. Find the real reason why they wanted to sell to begin with. Start asking more questions so they start opening up as to why they didn't sell. Most of the time, they're not going to know why they didn't sell. Sometimes they just want more money and things are not moving. I was just talking to another seller a couple days ago, and she already is in contract with an agent. But this is a lady that I've been talking to for the last 6, 8 months, and she finally decided to list, but with a different agent. And she was trying to take the property off the market because she was not getting the right amount of money. Right? She already has renters in there that she doesn't want to kick out. And whoever she sells the property to, she wants someone to take over the rental. But of course, there's a lot of different variables that kind of play in there. But by you asking more questions and understanding exactly why that property is not selling, understanding the motivation for selling. If someone is not motivated to sell, they're not going to sell. And it's not you about wasting time. It's just about understanding more and building that rapport, because when they're ready to go, if you follow up with them, they will work with you. Okay. But let them talk. Let them talk. Just ask questions. I talk to the team all the time. When we talk to leads, we drive a lot of leads into our pipeline through Google SEO. We have a portal, a lot of social media marketing, and we only want to talk 20% of the time. Most of that 20% of the time is around asking questions, and we just let them talk. We just let them talk, and we let them sell themselves, and eventually they agree to work with you, right? So for example, I was talking to another guy yesterday. We are a brokerage out here in California, and we are building our brokerage, and we're talking to agents all the time who are interested in working with Houstir. So one of the biggest things is we do not offer an office, right? We are a cloud-based business, or a cloud-based brokerage. So everybody has to work from home. So the biggest thing that this agent wanted was an office to go into and work with. He's a newer agent, has been in the business for about 4 or 5 months, and he's currently with the broker that does offer him an office. And that was one of the biggest roadblocks that we had in our conversation yesterday. So the simple question was, okay, so you do have an office right now, right? Yes. Okay, great. How many times have you been in that office? And I just paused, right? And he's like, well, I guess you're right. I've been there, you know, maybe 4 or 5 times, just a few times. And most of the times it was just to ask questions. And I guess those questions could have been answered through Zoom. I guess you're right. Maybe I do not need an office, right? So he answered his own question himself, and he allowed himself to understand that the roadblock wasn't really the office, right? So we started digging deeper and understand exactly what the issue was. Same thing when you're talking to buyers, same thing when you're talking to sellers, right? Buyers, sometimes they tell you that they don't have the money, or they're not really ready, but sometimes they are, and it's just the fact that they don't have enough knowledge about the process, that if you were to push them with more information, they could come, to a decision where it makes sense for them. As long, we don't want to push them either, but you know what I mean. Same thing with sellers. If they already listed their property with an agent and that property did not sell, find out why. Keep asking questions. Keep talking to them. Now, objections are just ways a prospect is trying to get you off the phone. But the more objections they throw at you, the more interested they are in talking with you, because they're not hanging up the phone and they're being polite maybe, but it's giving you a good understanding as to what really is the objection. And the more things they throw at you, following the 80-20 rule, fact finding, asking more questions, is going to allow you to understand exactly the reason why they're giving you those objections. I'm not interested anymore. Why are you not interested anymore? Or, yeah, sure, I understand you're not interested anymore. That's the reason why I'm calling. I'm just trying to figure out, when you are interested in selling. Or again, change the subject. Well, I get it. I understand you're not interested anymore. They're not hanging up the phone with you. Ask a question. How you sold your home? Where would you have moved to? Right? And try to look for ways to connect through stories. A lot of the objections you get with brand new leads coming into your database, like if you're running social media, for example, how did you get my phone number? Where are you calling from? I'm busy right now. Who are you? Try not to give up on objections. We train our team to get through these objections by switching the subject, by asking a different question. Okay, I'm busy right now. I understand. I only want to take a few seconds. You signed up on our website. Looks like you're looking to move. Maybe. Now that's an opening, right? Unless they hang up on you, that's a different story. But if they're asking questions, they're trying to be polite, try to hit them where you're gonna get that conversation going. We do have a quick training on what we did with actual objections. We'll send you the link to this as well. We are working on getting more trainings around specific types of leads that we talk to all the time, whether that's FISBOs, expireds. Bring someone who has done this day after day and getting results, getting listings consistently every weekend. We're going to talk about exactly what their process is and see how you can implement. So how you can get more business. We just started, but the first month of the year is already almost done. How many listing appointments have you done? What's your goal for the end of the year? Are you hoping to get at least 1 listing, 2 listings, 6 listings? What have you done so far to get at least 1 appointment? How many phone calls is it going to take to get that 1 appointment? There's so many ways you can get sellers right now. You can call expireds. You can call FISBOs. You can do circle prospecting around properties that are selling in the area. You can call non-owner occupied homes. You can call vacant homes. There's a lot of tools out there that can give you lists and lists of properties that are possible ways to get some sellers. So what is your goal for the end of the year? What have you done so far? What are you going to be doing over the next 30 days? What are you going to be doing over the next 60 days? How many calls did you make last year? And how many people did you connect with last year that you need to connect with now in order to get someone to list with you in the next 3-6 months, right? Having a structured conversation plan through scripts, it's going to allow you to drive that conversation. And very important that after every conversation, you have a follow-up plan, right? Depending on the type of the conversation, you need to understand follow-up is going to get you results. How do they know? How do they remember who you are? One of the agents that I'm probably going to bring in for a couple trainings, one of the things that he does is every time he does get on the phone with expired who allows them to build that report, he will send after the call, he will let them know that he's going to text them his business card so that they can put a face to the name. He even makes a joke. I know you're probably going to don't get scared, right? But that's me. That's really me. I probably look a little bit prettier, in person. So I'm looking forward to meet you. He sends a postcard to the home with his business card. And sometimes he adds like a little scratcher or maybe a $5 um, coffee card, like Starbucks card. Yes, it is an expense, right? It is but if you're booking appointments left and right and repeating this process over and over again, it is part of, building your business. Get some scratchers. And then the nice thing about what he does is when he calls back and follows up, he's got a reason to follow up with. Hey, Mr. John, I just this is Roberto. I was just wondering what you thought about the coffee. Hey, did you win the lottery with the scratcher I sent you? I'm calling to get my cut. I'm calling to get my percentage. And building that relationship even after the call is going to allow you to continue that conversation. How many of you guys are doing that? Right? How many of you guys are doing that in your business right now? If you are not following a plan to get more business in 2024, if you did not follow a plan in 2023, what's going to change this year that's going to get you more results? What can we do here at Houstir to help you get more business? What can we do to get you to pick up the phone and start making more calls? There's a lot of little things that we're planning for the next weeks, months to get you out there, get you branded. But at the end of the day, it's really on you to take that step and start making that plan and put that together, right? It is sometimes an investment. Some of these expired listings, sometimes calling them from your phone, sometimes it's not going to be fast enough. Sometimes you do need systems in place. There's a lot of out there. If you're looking to maybe do a workshop and do something together, let us know. We personally use Redix for expireds, geofarming, FISBOs, foreclosures. For vacant properties, we use PropStream and then batch skip tracing to get all those numbers. And then we load them up into another tool called Batch Dialer. Allows us to call 3 numbers at once. So we can go through thousands of calls a day. We personally do hire assistants, virtual assistants who help us with the calls. Their job of the assistant when they're calling 1,000, 1,200 calls a day is just to find people to raise their hand. Sure, I'm open to to selling, or I'm open to a cash offer. Like, what do you got? Right. And that's all you need. Because when you get on the phone, it's up to you as an agent, as the sales trained assassin, to laser target these people and understand if they're going to be ready to go or not, right? And then build that rapport over time to get more business. That's basically all we wanted to cover today. Next few trainings, we are going to dig deeper into actual scripts that you can use for different type of leads that we talk to all the time. We are lining up interviews with people who are actually putting in the work and actually getting results, so that you can copy paste their system, their strategies, and finally, get closer to your target, whether that's one listing by the end of the year or one listing every single month, or maybe more. We have a lot planned for our weekly trainings, guys. We encourage you to keep coming over every Thursday at 12. We also do one every Tuesday at 10. Those are shorter little nuggets that we throw out there. What's the topic that we're going to cover on next Friday? I mean, next Thursday? I'm putting you guys on the spot. I'm not ready yet. We have our team here available as well. Xiomara and Diane, they're the ones responsible for coming up with all the content, coming up with all the topics, making sure that everything is lined up, making sure everything goes back into our YouTube channel, making sure we're posting our stories, our announcement on Facebook groups. Leveraging people. Once you scale your business, it's what's going to allow you to really scale and build a good baseline, right? So do we have a topic for next week planned, or we haven't really discussed that yet?
Just after this.
All right, we'll post it.
We have tons of topics in mind, but we want to give you guys the best one.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we trust me, guys, we talk all the time. These are very, we try to give you as much as we can, as much value as we can. If you guys don't have any questions, I don't want to take more of your time. Otherwise I'll see you guys next Thursday. So I don't see any questions, any messages in the chat. No.
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Ann. Do you have any questions about the training today?
No, could you just call me, or someone call me after? I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I remember, yeah, I'll give you a quick call.
Thank you.
Yvette, you want scripts? Yeah, we have a ton of scripts. Anybody interested in getting scripts? Anybody else interested? Yes, Sean, for sure you're gonna get them. We have FISBO scripts. We have, everybody heard of the Mamba script? We'll send you that too. I don't know if I sent it to you, Diane, but we'll load it up in the system and send it out. We have FISBO.
What's the Mamba script?
It's just the acronyms for you put me on the spot, Yvette. I just blanked out right now. But it's basically the structure and what you're trying to get out of the call. And again, it goes back to what we talked about today, right? Asking the right questions, letting them talk, building that connection by connecting through stories, trying to make sure that you don't talk as much, because and sometimes I tend to do that. So it's important that you understand, right, that sometimes it's better to just don't say things and let them sell themselves. I wonder if we could do recordings too of some of the expired calls that we have and start sharing those with you, so you can kind of see more or less the process that we go through. Sometimes it's painful, out of probably 100 people that we call, probably one picks up the phone and says really bad words. So we have to increase that to 200 people and then 300 people. But it's just at the end of the day, it's numbers game, right? The more you call, the more chances at connecting. There's real people out there who are really interested and want more help, right? But again, like when you're calling expired, some of these guys, as soon as that expires, everyone is calling them, right? Everyone is calling them to get through the noise and cut through the noise. What makes you different, right? When you care for someone and you do it sincerely over the phone, it can change. Last time we got a listing appointment live with one of our guys. I called the lady and she was pissed, completely pissed. She was, how'd you get my number? I'm not even the person selling the property. It's my brother's son-in-law who's actually selling it, right? Oh no, I'm so sorry, right? If you'd like, I can give you a trick so people stop calling you. She's like, oh, okay. And boom, that opened the conversation, right? Basically, all I told her was that, and this was a trick that one of the agents who does this taught me, was just tell them that you're already working with someone else and you already signed a contract, right? They'll leave you alone. The agents are not, just tell them you work with me, right? Just tell them that you're working with an agent already and you're working with me. And boom, that opened the conversation. So how many calls have you been getting? Okay. Oh, wow. So who's actually selling the property? Do you know why it didn't sell? Right? And we started the conversation and actually turned into a listing appointment. And it was right there and then with the agent, the one agent that we work with, and he knows that area really well. So the way he connected was, so isn't your property on this and this street right here? That's a beautiful property. Isn't that the one with the horses in the back? Yeah, that's the one. Wow, I'm amazed that the property didn't sell. I'm pretty sure that it should have sold, right? Same script everybody uses. I'm sure that property should have sold. Would you allow me to interview for the job? Right? But anyways, that's kind of more or less what the Mamba script does. I'll share that with you, Yvette. We'll probably package it together if anybody else is interested in these. We're also going to talk about maybe putting trainings together as to really how to dig into finding lists of properties, right? I mentioned a few tools. PropStream. Anybody knows what PropStream is? No? Yes? We'll probably show you guys what PropStream does and how you can use it to get more numbers. You can really dig down. You can get property addresses, full names of people who probably homes that are vacant. You can get homes with high equity, any liens on the home, someone who's really interested in selling. Some of these are investor type properties, but the thing is, if you do work with investors, it opens up a whole different conversation when you jump on the call with these type of leads, because you're not calling as an agent, you're calling as an investor. And trust me, agents do not call these lists, and these are the lists that are giving you results all the time. These are leads that are giving us results all the time when we buy properties for ourselves, when we flip, when we keep them for rentals. So if you're not calling these lists, you're missing out, right? We should probably put a training together. Maybe let's mark it, Diane, and dig down exactly as to how you can get lists, how we can batch, how we can do skip tracing, how to get actual phone numbers, how to use the tool like Batch Dialer to call, and maybe we'll make some calls and see what type of responses we get. All right, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys being here. We'll be back next Thursday. If you are watching this on our YouTube channel or any other recording, there's probably a comment section here. If you have questions, drop them. We come back and join us next Thursday and Tuesday at 10 a.m. as well. All right. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.